Hello, and welcome to Historical Perspectives with Dawn Brodey. I'm Dawn Brodey. I know that everything sucks right now. Everything sucks. Everywhere you look. Politically, environmentally, economically, socially, perhaps even personally. And I know that during the holidays it feels like it's just even worse. And you might be right. But there is some comfort to be drawn from history. We've thought it sucks worse than it could ever suck ever before. And we were wrong. So come with me on a journey through the annals of history to see that sometimes it really, really sucks. But it isn't the end of the world. Even if it's Christmas. Today's story: George Washington crossing the Delaware. The drink to go along with our history: Captain Morgan. Ice. We have really nice ice cubes. A candy cane, ding-a-ding-a-ding, and a German beer chaser. 3 things are gonna happen. 1, you're gonna learn an interesting story from American history that will give you some comfort this holiday season. 2, you're gonna see how all of these various ingredients connect to the story that I'm about to tell you. And 3, I'm gonna get a nice little day buzz. If you picture any particular thing when I say George Washington crossing the Delaware, it's probably the famous painting of him on the boat with his leg up, much like your friend and mine, Captain Morgan. So that's how we're gonna start. Yeah, nice American-sized pour. Woo. If you remember anything else about that painting of George Washington, it may be that it is a wintry landscape. It isn't just that he crossed the Delaware in the winter. He crossed the Delaware on Christmas Day. Did you know that? Did you know that George Washington saved America on Christmas Day? Well, you're about to. It had been a rough December in 1776. If you want to know the truth, most of 1776 was pretty rough. We don't have enough guys. I don't think George Washington's that good. Once the British really flex on us, we just don't stand a chance. As long as we can hold New York, everything's going to be fine. And we just couldn't hold New York. Couldn't be done. And we should have known we could. There's too many, they have so many boats that are like, you know? But we thought, anyway, so we had to hit the road. We had to get the fuck out of New York fast. New York had everything we needed. Bars, printing presses, women, food, all the important stuff. It wasn't just that we were militarily overpowered. And I say this very rarely and usually in a whisper. George Washington fucked up. I know, it's possible. It happens. Guys, draw some comfort from the fact we all fuck up. They came in from Long Island. He left an important road undefended and was like, sorry guys. Okay, so the army's divided, it's cold, and they don't have any of the shit they need, and everyone is doubting that George Washington is actually up to the task. Oh, I know. Men start deserting in droves. Hard to blame them. I don't need to freeze to death, get shot in the mud with these assholes. And Washington knew it. So he was like, okay. Everybody, come. We need to get this divided army to come to me on the Delaware River. We're hanging on the Delaware River. We're gonna come up with a plan and we're gonna do great things. This is good, isn't it? I admit, I put the candy cane in there as a prop, but it's a good idea. All right, and then on December 19th, a little spark, things start to turn around. Because Thomas Paine publishes a beautiful piece of literary and political literature. These are the times that try men's souls. Boy, howdy. And then on December 20th, reinforcements arrive. Oh gosh, and they come and he's like, oh, thank heavens. First things first, we gotta talk to Charles Lee, my second command. Where's he? Good question. Where is Charles Lee? Oh, do I have a story for you. Charles Lee has been arrested a week ago in a tavern 3 miles from the rest of his troops, sitting at a desk in his underwear, writing a letter. I think he was getting some pussy. I mean, I'm not the only one. A lot of people figured he was getting some pussy. In any event, he's not there, but his troops do arrive, and they're like, whoo, here we are. Oh, everything sucks. And Washington sees that it's freezing cold. They do not have any tents. They don't have enough clothes. They don't have enough food. They don't have enough water. They don't have enough lodging. And the enemy, the Hessians and the Brits, have apparently just settled in for the winter because they have heard about all the people who are deserting and leaving the army. And they're like, why don't we just wait? Because I bet in the spring, this whole thing will be done. So that's what they do. And Washington's like, can't let that happen because they're right. So they put a call out to the river people. Bring in your boats. Washington needs them. I know a little something about river people. I myself lived aboard a houseboat on the Mississippi River in St. Paul, Minnesota for 9 years. I know, through the winter. And winters in St. Paul, Minnesota are rough. And one of those years I lived there, I took that boat from St. Paul, Minnesota, all the way down to Mobile, Alabama. Headwaters of the Gulf of Mexico. It took 33 days. It was nuts. And when we left, it was October. It was cold. All of this to say, I know a little something about navigating rivers, especially in the freezing cold. On Christmas Eve, all of the folks who had any kind of boat of any kind that wasn't already burned or sunk on purpose brings it in secret to George Washington's camp. On Christmas morning, December 25th, 1776, George Washington calls all of his generals and announces the plan. It's freedom. It really does taste like freedom. Ho, 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 Christmas morning, I got a big present for you, and it's victory or death. But probably victory, but the code word is victory or death. Here's the plan. We're in these boats, we're gonna cross this here river, and we're gonna kill us some Hessians. What's a Hessian? A German mercenary, hired by the British just to kill Americans. They're the worst. Generally, I like Germans. I have a lot of German ancestry, but in this story, they're the bad guys. They're on the run, which is why we're having a German beard chaser. Ugh. Oh. We're gonna cross the river in 3 places. When we get to the other side of the shore, we're gonna march north and we're gonna kill/capture the Hessians. They get all of the troops together and they tell them there's a secret mission and everyone needs to get 3 days worth of food and as much clothes as they can carry and get together in their regiments and head to the river. And they get to the river and then, of course, a storm starts. A blowing, icy, crazy storm. In the snow, blood from the bare feet of the American colonials walking with gear to the river. There's ice flows slamming into the side of the boats. And keep in mind, it ain't just guys that they have to get across the river. It's horses, it's cannons, it's ammunition. They gotta be quiet and they can't drown. Of the 3 that tried it, only George Washington and his group made it across. They think we'll get there around 4, then watch out. It takes longer than they thought. So now they have 1/3 of the force they thought they were gonna have, and they're 2 hours behind schedule, and oh my God, everything really sucks. They're like, we know everything sucks for all of us. They get up, they find the Hessians, and they are, good news, drunk and asleep. Oh. Because it's Christmas. Because they don't believe that the colonial army has the capacity to do what they've just done. They take it very easily. They kill the general, and that's when the Hessians are like, trust us, we don't need to fight anymore. We got it. You guys did a thing, and we were not ready for that thing, so carry on. Good for you. Then, though, they have to get back across the river. And now they are, even though Washington said, don't do it, a lot of the guys got drunk and pilfered the Hessian food and booze and are feeling like, oh my God, we did it. So these guys come down to the boats and they're like, we did it. And there's a much more difficult time getting back across the river, but they do. And it's a huge, huge victory. It boosts the morale of the American fighters. It improves George Washington's reputation, which had been so tarnished. That could be it. That could be the end of the story. But it's not. Because what people often forget is, as harrowing as that story is, there were 4 more shitty Christmases for George Washington and the colonial army. These are the times that try men's souls. The winter soldier, no. The summer soldier and the summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in crisis, shrink from the service of their country. The summer soldier, and the gist of it is, everything sucks. And probably people are thinking, fuck this, I'm gonna quit, but you shouldn't because it's worth it. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. So, this has been Historical Perspectives with Dawn Brodey. I'm Dawn Brodey. Merry Christmas.